Hey folks, this is Tracy with Scrappy's Rustics. In this video, we're going to jazz up my glass case. So this is just a regular glass case you get when you get new eyeglasses. We've got a mold there from the Lock and Key made out of resin. We have some rice paper out of the new spring release. 0412 is the decoupage number, 0412. Waverly paint in the color ivory. Some Valspar antiquing glaze in the color Moose Moose. And we're going to put a coat or two on our locket and let that dry. And then we are going to do a coat or two on our glass case and let that dry. And we are going to use Pentart varnish and glue, or Pentart's glue in ultra matte. Y'all, I love the ultra matte. I'm a matte kind of gal. I've been testing a lot of mattes lately, and this is the newest one, and it is truly ultra matte. I love it. It could be used as a decoupage glue, a sealer. It is waterproof. This glass case, I didn't know if it was going to make it all the way around, but I was willing to take that gamble to get the writing in the right direction. So I just took my water pen and I cut off the outside border. And it looks like I'm on repeat here, but I'm just moving it, trying to get it perfect, because I didn't want to get the paper. I wanted to get it above where it opens and closes. This project actually took me quite a bit of time. It was like really delicately wrapping the perfect Christmas gift. It took a lot of precision and a lot of doing it a little bit here and a little bit there, doing it in sections, drying it in between sections. And I just went ahead and did it. I was going to cut it off when I made it through the halfway point where it opens. And I thought, you know what? I don't know if the paper's going to make it all the way around. And I'll just figure it out when I get there. I'll use a razor or the water pen or a little bit of everything and cut open everywhere it needs to be on the seams. I just thought, you could do it either way. This wasn't hard. This wasn't a hard way though. And if I were to do it again, I would probably do it this way as well. I did go back, and I think either way you'd have to go back in anything where you open it, all the edges. I put a couple of coats of the Pentart Ultra Matte on there just to make sure, because that's going to get the most action, the opening, closing, just so nothing would peel up on me. And when I am putting my glue on, I'm trying to stay away from the opening parts because I don't want anything sticking in there. So ultimately I had about 1/8 of an inch, maybe 1/4 of an inch paper left over. So that was good. Yay me. And it was so little that it was really actually hard to fold over and cut off. So I had to try a few things to get it off, but we ultimately got it off. It was too much to try to tuck under. So I tried the water pen, I tried scissors. It's rice paper, so therefore, it gets the fibers in it, and sometimes they don't want to tear where you want them to, especially when it's just a very thin piece. But I worked through it. And on the edges, I also learned by cutting a little piece off, not the edges, but the ends. You'll see when we go to fold the ends in, by cutting off a little piece, it made it all nice and flat and nothing bulky, so that was great. So then I took my scissors and I took the water pen. I think I even take a skewer, and I'm just trying to work those openings without tearing my paper, elsewhere. But it was pretty glued down. It was dried, so I felt pretty good about it. So I just kept working it until it popped through. And there you can see the hairs there, so I just trimmed it off. This would make an amazing gift for someone because, especially, sometimes I feel like it's hard to buy for certain people, but you know what they like. So you could certainly customize this. Be great for a man because, you can man it up. Just a lot of ways you could go with this. Plus, it's kind of cool, have your own custom eyeglass. If you're someone that has to carry your glass case and take them on and off here and there. But so I end up cutting slits right at each corner. And I don't think that's it. Okay, so I'm cutting off the excess. Somewhere here I cut, there we go. Those two sides right there, by cutting them off, really made it easy for it to become nice and flat when I'm going to glue it down. And like I said, it was like really right there, taking those two clips off, made everything nice and flat. So it was like a delicate dance, making a perfectly wrapped Christmas present. So again, I'm putting the decoupage glue on there, trying to stay away from the opening, and then fold those two little pieces in first. I forgot the glue. Whoops. Open it back up. Put a little glue on your paper and they're perfect, perfect. So that they came out seamless. So that was great. That was great. And that just kind of happened, and I figured it out as I went. And this really came out really cute. And it's in my purse as we speak. So there's both sides. So that one went a little over, so I got to cut my opening out again. And that was easy enough. So again, like I said, I had put several coats around the edges just to make sure, that's where it gets the most use. So I wanted to make sure that it was sealed nice and shut. And I put an entire coat of the Ultra Matte all over it just to give it that extra protection. So there we are. We're dry. We're ready to go. And I had some scrap rice paper. I think that one had the lady in the moon on it. I think we still have that paper, and I can't think of the number of it on it right now. But I just want the roses, so I end up doing 2 sides. And look how much those 2 little pieces, those 2 little roses change the entire look. I love it. I think the colors go great together. It adds some depth, adds some interest. You could certainly dirty this paper up more if you wanted to, but I feel like it's kind of antique looking as what already. So I'm putting a layer of paint on the back of my decoupage paper because I'm going to lay it on top of other decoupage paper that has print on it, and I don't want it showing through. I want it to pop and be its true color. So by putting a very, very light coat on the back of your rice paper and drying it, solves all your problems. There's no difference when you use your medium to put it down. Nothing. It's easier to paint your paper than it is to try to paint on your surface and get it the exact same size. Let's put it that way. So look at that. I mean, it's just amazing what that little pop of color changes the entire look of this. And this is so simple. So simple. And they're scraps. So that's even better, right? Use up our scraps. Scraps are gold, as many of the creators say. So we're just going over the top of them. And so cute. Now we're going to use the heavy, oh no, not yet. So there's our lock and key. It's got, I think I ended up doing 2 coats of the ivory. We're going to use the Valspar Mousse Antiquing Glaze. I love this stuff. And there's a lot of open time with it. So basically we are covering the whole thing. You're probably thinking, what in the heck is she doing? It's a beautiful color. Why are you making it all muddy and yucky looking? Well, that's part of the process. There's always an ugly stage before it gets beautiful. So trust the process. Basically what we want to do is push that product down in all of those low spots. And we're going to wipe it back so that product sits in the low spots and we reveal the color on the high spots. You could totally do this the opposite way if you wanted to gently brush and hit all the high points, have your high points dark and your lower points bright. You can do that as well. I prefer this method, but that's choice. You can do it either way you want. And this is clear resin. This is a long drying resin. And just a little more pain in the butt to paint, but you could see that wasn't very hard. So we're going to use heavy body gel to adhere this. I'm really a big fan of this stuff now. It dries nice and clear, it's paintable, and it really does a great job of locking stuff down for you. So, and you don't need a lot. And what it also is great for is sometimes when you pour resin, your back of your resin might not be flat and you can't get a good surface connection, surface to surface. You can use that to build it up for you. So that way you get a good connection. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Look at that thing. It's so beautiful. I'd love for you to follow me on Facebook, YouTube, like, subscribe, all the things.